I didn't get to this on Tuesday's lecture, but I wanted to take the opportunity to discuss how paralegals make a profit in law firms, specifically using in billable hours, usually for paralegals who work in defense law firms, which we talked about during the lecture. This is something that they don't necessarily teach you when we're in law school. This is the numbers or the business or the accounting side of things. And so I like to be able to share this information with you so as you move along in your career and you find yourself working at a defense law firm, you can understand what your value is and what you're bringing to the table and be able to negotiate a proper salary based on your skills and, again, your profitability to the law firm. So let's begin. So let's start with a general salary, and this is by no means an idea of what you can make as a paralegal, it's just a nice round number. So say you're hired at a defense, those folks who represent the big corporations of the world, law firm, making $40,000, right? That is not just your cost to the employer. There's employee taxes and other fringe benefits. Let's say that's in the amount of $10,000. And then there's overhead, the lights for your individual office, your furniture, your computer, your internet. Let's say that equals to, and it can be $45,000. A lot of times that's more than your actual salary. For a total cost of employing this type of paralegal for $95,000. So the law firm, by bringing you on board, their cost is $95,000. Okay? Now, as a new paralegal, they've asked you to bill per hour, the 6-hour increments that you were tracking, the time that you were working on client matters of $15.50 per year. So it's on a day, $15.50 per year, which means that every year you, in order to just be minimum to do your job, you should commit 1,550 hours to working on client matters. Okay, that is your goal. So then we take $95,000, which is your total cost, divided by 1,550, which means that the paralegal, the cost of employing that paralegal per hour is $61.29. Okay, so anyone with a business mind knows that they have to make a profit, right? How do law firms generate a revenue, right, in order to make a profit? Well, this is how. So that $15.50, they are given a billable rate. So billable rates vary by paralegal and years of experience, the type of law firms, who their clients are, what they can pay. $90 is a pretty low billable rate for a paralegal. Could be as much as $150, $200 for a more senior person. There's some lawyers who charge $1,000 an hour if they're really high powered and really have a reputation. So it's definitely going to range in terms of where you are. Billable hours in places like Atlanta are going to be more than in Savannah and other smaller cities. But we'll just use this as a nice round number. So we have $90 per hour times the 1,550 billable hours, and that means that you would generate for the law firm $139,500. Okay, so the invoices that go out to a client that equal your work that's what we're going to bill them, bill the client. The Home Depots, I don't know why I keep using Home Depot, but the larger corporations, the tech companies of the world. But just because you bill that client that much doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're going to pay. So corporations like that have what we call general counsels, who most likely started their careers in law firms, and they know that people fudge on billable hours. Maybe they don't mean to, it's nothing intentional, but if you have a new paralegal who takes them 5 hours to do a complaint, something that a more senior paralegal can do in an hour, they don't want to pay for the firm training their new paralegals or their new associates, right? So they will, haggle about the hour that's billed. So then we have something called a realization rate, right? So the realization rate is the percentage of this amount that the firm actually collects, right? You want it to be in the 90s. That's kind of wishful thinking. But ideally, if you are billing correctly, you've got the right people on the right projects and invoicing properly, you could be able to get into the 90s, okay? So we take this amount that's billed times 92.5% to get $129,000. So this is what you as a paralegal are earning for the law firm. Oh, look at that. So let's see your profitability. We take the $129,000, the realization rate, minus your salary. It's not just your salary, but the salary plus the fringe benefits plus the taxes to get $34,000. So that's a plus. So that's the profit that you're making for the law firm. So the more billable hours that you achieve for the law firm, the more profit you would make. Now, a lot of times if you go over, so that's a minimum. That's what they have, the accountants have budgeted for you as a law firm to make. If you make less than that, then you're costing them. Now, they're willing to do that, especially for a new paralegal for a couple of years, maybe because you're learning, you're trying to find your way. But at some point, you're going to have to meet that profit that they have set for you. Anything over that, most of these law firms are willing to give you in a bonus, okay? So paralegals can make a substantial amount of money in their bonuses. But in litigation firms especially, there's the work to be able to meet that. So if you're at a law firm where there's not the work or they're not busy, then it's harder for you to meet that billable hour. But if you're in a really busy law firm, you're a good paralegal that your attorneys trust, and they're giving you that substantive work, that you can bill to the client, because you can't just bill sitting on the phone talking to your mother on the client, to the client. It has to be, that substantive work that we talked about in chapter 1. That is the work that you're able to bill the clients on. And if you're a paralegal that has a high volume of that, then you can get those bonuses. But at a minimum, you want to meet that 1,500 billable hour, or whatever, 1,550. It can vary. Attorneys have to 2,000 billable hour. That's like a minimum. And that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. So I just wanted to take the time to share this with you. It is something that you might not need early in your career, but you might want to drag out later, especially if you find yourself, again, working in one of those large defense firms, so that you can understand the business of it, and you can understand how you are generating profits for your employer and be able to negotiate better. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day.